3 days ago, there were another round of Democratic primaries across around 3 or 4 states, and the shocking thing is that a majority of them, the progressive candidate, that was outspent mostly by the corporate dinos or like Democratic corporatist neoliberals, they all lost to the progressives. And the most marking story and the big upset was Joe Crowley, the heir apparent to Nancy Pelosi, who's human scum, and Joe Crowley is as well. He's probably one of the most corrupt, if not the most corrupt Democrats, but he lost his district for the first time in 10 uh, terms. He was there for 20 years. He lost to a 28-year-old female Latina woman named Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is a Justice Democrat. She's a Democratic Socialist, and she's basically one of the best politicians now in America, and she's marking the progressive movement in America and the uprising against the dinos of this democratic civil war we're having. And Bernie Sanders is going to comment on how amazing Alexandria is.
I want to bring in independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. As you know, the winner, I should say, of the New York primary, that congressional district, describes herself as a Democratic socialist. You're a socialist. She also worked on your 2016 campaign. You congratulated her on Twitter, saying, among other things, she demonstrated once again what progressive grassroots politics can do. Is the movement that you inspired in 2016 now, for all practical purposes, from your perspective, Senator, taking over large chunks of the Democratic Party?
I look at it, that's not the way I look at it. That's kind of an inside the beltway approach. The way I see it is that what Alexandria did is ran a campaign focusing on the issues of importance to her district. That is guaranteeing health care as a right, not a privilege, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, making sure that the wealthy pay their fair share of taxes, making public colleges and universities tuition free. So Wolf, what I believe is that what Alexandria did is not only focus on the right issues, she also ran a strong grassroots campaign, and despite being outspent 10-1, she won a pretty strong victory. We are seeing that type of effort all across this country. You mentioned Ben Jealous in Maryland. Ben took on much of the Democratic establishment in Maryland. He ended up winning by 10 points last night, also talking about exactly the same issues that Alexandria talked about. Bottom line is, all over this country, people are asking themselves, how does it happen? You got 3 people in this country who own more wealth than the bottom half of the American people. How does it happen that you have a political and economic system dominated by big money while the middle class continues to struggle? Unemployment is low in America right now, and yet still median wages are going down for the average worker. So the American people are demanding a government that looks like them, that represents them, and not just the wealthy and the powerful. That's what her victory is about.
Just curious, Senator, you agree with her that ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, should be abolished?
I think that this disastrous immigration policy should be abolished. I happen to have voted against ICE, the formation of ICE, back in 2002. What you have right now is an immigration policy that I think most Americans understand is not what this country is about. You don't rip little children away from the arms of their mother. You don't leave 1.8 million kids eligible for DACA subject to deportation. So whether you abolish ICE or not is not the major issue. The major issue is having an immigration system which is effective, which means comprehensive immigration reform. It means protecting the DACA people. It means moving to citizenship for the 10 million people who are undocumented. That, by the way, Wolf, is not what Bernie Sanders believes. That's what the American people believe and want to see happen.
Bernie Sanders just gave us the exact description of what progressives need to do in order to win 2018 midterms. Just focus on the right issues. Don't get caught up in all the whole, oh, Trump needs to be impeached, anything like that, about neoliberal corporatist bullshit. You need to focus on the issues: universal health care, some form of universal living wage that is tied to inflation, so it'll always stay a living wage, and all the other issues. Deporting ICE is a great one. Just if you are a progressive and not one of the dino Democrats, please just watch this interview with Bernie. He is truly the face of progressive politics right now.